You didn't stumble on this video. You were summoned. Heaven has been whispering your name, and now the scroll is unsealing. All your life they misread the signs. They called you too sensitive, too intense, too different. But what they dismissed as brokenness was actually divine design. You weren't rejected. You were reserved. You weren't buried. You were planted. The pain was not proof of your failure. It was proof of your forming. Welcome to Chosen One Sanctuary, a gathering ground for the remnant. Those who walk through fire and still whisper, yes. Those who carry scrolls written in heaven, waiting for the moment they would be opened. That moment is now. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. You were appointed before you were applauded. And the silence you've endured? It was consecration, not abandonment. What if every betrayal had meaning? What if the delays were divine delays? What if the voices you ignored were your own spirit calling from the future? Because this message isn't just content. It's a confirmation. There are 8 sacred lessons your soul agreed to master before you complete your assignment. Stay until the end. Because what's being revealed in this message may explain your entire life. Not just the wounds, but the war. Not just the silence, but the scroll. And by the time this is over, you may finally understand why you've always felt chosen, but never told why. The mark you didn't ask for. Before the world ever knew your name, heaven had already carved it into the palms of the Almighty. You were set apart, not for comfort, but for consecration. While others sought applause, you were drafted into silence. While others fit in, you were fashioned to stand out. The warfare began before the understanding. Unusual patterns followed you. Isolation without cause. Attacks without explanation. Rejection where there should have been favor. But these weren't curses. They were confirmations. You weren't delayed. You were disguised. Just like Joseph, marked with dreams as a boy, yet misunderstood and sold by his own bloodline. The pit wasn't punishment, it was prophecy. And so was yours. God does not mark the mighty, He marks the meek. And in the fire of early affliction, your scroll was sealed. The ones who feel most out of place are often the ones born for another realm. Obscurity is obedience. There is a silence that breaks the proud and builds the chosen. In the hidden years when no one calls your name and heaven seems deaf to your cries, something eternal is happening. You are not being punished, you are being protected. Just as David tended sheep while his brothers marched in armor, your obscurity is not insignificance. It is insulation. In the hush of your hiddenness, heaven is watching your posture. Will you serve when no one sees? Will you worship when no one claps? Will you remain when everything screams to quit? The silence wasn't absence. It was divine surveillance. Moses spent 40 years in Midian before he saw the bush burn. Obscurity is where oil is pressed. It's where titles are stripped and identity is revealed. To be chosen is to be quieted until the voice within becomes louder than the noise without. When the fire finds you. There are seasons when everything breaks, but it's not your life that's falling apart. It's your false identity that's being burned away. God doesn't just call you, He sculpts you, and His chisel of choice is fire. Betrayal, loss, isolation. Not all pain comes from the enemy. Some is sent by God to remove what cannot follow you into your next season. You weren't being destroyed, you were being distilled. Job was righteous, yet he lost everything. Not because he sinned, but because heaven wanted to show what couldn't be shaken. Every flame you've walked through was permissioned. Not to scar you, but to seal you. The chosen don't avoid the fire, they inherit it. Ignoring the call costs souls. To be chosen is not a title, it's a tether. There are destinies attached to your obedience, scrolls that remain sealed if you stay silent, Disobedience doesn't always look like rebellion. Sometimes it looks like delay. Jonah tried to run, but the storm found him anyway. When the chosen hide, heaven sends a wave. There are people waiting on your yes. Territories locked until your voice opens them. When you shrink, the enemy rejoices. When you surrender, the kingdom advances. To withhold your gift is not humility. It's robbery. This is not just about you. It never was. Authority isn't given, it's survived. True authority is forged, not handed out. You do not rise in power until you've descended in surrender. Jesus didn't begin his ministry with a crown, but with confrontation in the wilderness. So did you. Your authority is proportionate to the altars you've survived. Demons don't fear volume. They fear alignment, and heaven doesn't respond to charisma. It responds to consecration. The chosen carry weight in the Spirit because they've been emptied of the world. Like Elijah calling down fire, or Esther shifting royal decrees, your voice holds weight when it's born of surrender. You weren't built for popularity. You were fashioned for dominion. You carry an assignment, not a brand. Your calling is not a performance. It is a delivery. You carry heaven's message sealed within your bones, and no algorithm can measure the weight of obedience. Moses stuttered, yet spoke for a nation. Jeremiah wept, yet carried fire in his mouth. You are not here to be liked. You are here to be aligned. Assignments are not chosen. They are received. And the moment you treat your gift as content instead of covenant, you risk aborting heaven's design. There are scrolls only your voice can unseal. Don't trade them for applause. When God calls, He doesn't ask for polish. He asks for purity. You are not the only one. You are not alone, though you felt like the only one in your city, the only one in your family, the only one who dreams with eyes open and prays when no one's watching. There is a remnant, 7,000 like Elijah, who have not bowed, scattered across nations yet carrying the same fire, the same ache, the same seal. Your isolation was prophetic, but your connection is apostolic. Chosen One's sanctuary is more than a channel. It's a convergence point, a clarion call to the hidden warriors, the weeping prophets, the wounded intercessors. You've never fit in, because you were built to fit together. Echoes across time. This is the part they never told you. Your obedience is not for this hour alone. It echoes. Every yes you whisper writes a line in someone else's scroll. Every tear you sow in private becomes water for a future generation's harvest. Mary said yes, and eternity shifted. What you carry is not just yours. It is generational seed. You are the hinge between what was and what must come. The bridge between bloodlines and blueprints. Heaven is not just watching. It is recording. When the trumpet sounds, it won't be titles that echo. It will be obedience. Let your life resound. There's a reason you never fit. There's a reason the warfare started before the dream. There's a reason the silence was so loud and the fire so specific. Because you weren't wandering. You were being written into prophecy. You weren't delayed. You were disguised, hidden for a holy hour. And that hour is now. The battles you've survived weren't setbacks. They were scrolls opening in secret. The tears you cried weren't wasted, they were consecrated ink. The fire didn't break you, it branded you. You have passed through what many would have surrendered under. You've been lied on, silenced, set aside. But even in the crushing, heaven never looked away. You are not broken, you are not behind. You are a chosen one. Heaven marked you. The fire forged you, and now the Spirit is sending you. Here is the decree over your life. You were hidden. You were tested. Now you are being sent with fire in your bones and a scroll in your mouth. Let this be your response. Comment 7/7 if your spirit knows this word was for you. If one lesson pierced your soul, share it below. Your testimony may unlock someone else's scroll. Subscribe and stay aligned with Chosen One Sanctuary, because the remnant is rising. And this is your confirmation you are not alone. You are the next echo.